Hey, what's up everyone? So in this video, I'll be showing you how you can create a text editor just like this one in React, and we'll be using a library called TipTap. So TipTap is actually straightforward, and what I'll be showing you in this particular video is how to customize your editor to have this kind of a design where you have these icons and stuff. And I'll also show you how you can get your output from this editor and then store it in state. And once you do that, you can either send that data to the database or you can show it on the UI like I have done right here. So right here, if I type React, you can see I'm showing the data directly on the UI from the state. So right here we have React, and you can format it to be italics, underlined, bold. You can have a straight through. You can also make it a heading. So we have all these styles right here. You can add a list of items, so we can have one, and as you can see, this is already like having these styles, so you can unselect them, the one that you don't want to be included, so that you have a nice list right here, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. You can include this in a block quote, and okay, it's not working actually. Something is wrong, and let me try it on this one, block quote. Okay, like that. I don't know why this one did not work. It should have. Maybe you can like add a block quote first, and then you can have now a list. So we can add a list of numbers just like this, and so on and so forth. Then we have these icons for reverting the changes or for going back to the changes. And then you can see the output for this editor is in form of HTML, and then we can pass that HTML and show it on the UI. So I'll show you how to pass the HTML and show it on the UI, because it will not work directly. Okay, and another form of output that this editor provides is JSON data. Okay, but in this particular video we will be using HTML. So this is a cool editor which you can implement on your site or even a client's site. So in case you're new here, my name is Charles. I'm a JavaScript developer, and I create coding content here on YouTube. If you like the content in this video, please remember to leave a thumbs up and also support my channel by subscribing. So I have just created a new React app, and all we have is the name React at our app component. So I also did some cleanup, so you can see we don't have those starter files that we usually have right here. So when I check the browser, this is all that we have. So I want us to start taking a look at TipTap, which is our framework for creating the text editor. So visit tiptap.dev, okay? And then you'll click on get started, okay? So once you do that, you'll check the various libraries and frameworks that you can make use of TipTap. So I want to make use of TipTap on React. So just click on React right there if you're using React, and then I don't know, I lost the scroll bar right here. Let me refresh again, and here we go. Okay, cool. So when you scroll down here, you'll see instructions for making use of TipTap, and there is actually a template which you can install to get started with, but I don't want us to make use of a template. I want us to use the step-by-step guide. So when I scroll again, there is a video right there. You can watch it if you want. But when I scroll again right here, now these are the steps. So the first step is to create a new React app, and I have already done this. So just run npx create React app and then the name of your application, and then down here you will install dependencies. Okay, so down here it's the dependencies, and you can see these are the dependencies at TipTap React, and then we have at TipTap starter kit. So these are the most basic ones, but I also want you to install other dependencies so that you install everything together and you won't go back to installing the dependencies for completing your text editor. So I have already like listed every dependency that you need for this particular session or video. So you will install TipTap React, and then you will install TipTap starter kit, And then right here, I want us to add the underline feature. It doesn't come by default, so you'll install at TipTap and then stroke extension hyphen underline. And then I want us to pass our output, which is in form of HTML, so that we can see it on the UI. So you will install HTML hyphen react hyphen parser. And then for the icons that we'll be using on our editor, I'll be making use of React icons, but you can use any other icons that you want to. So make sure that you run this installation. Just copy it the way it is, word by word from the screen, okay? And then after the installation, those are the dependencies. Then you can come down here and you'll see the instructions of making use of TipTap. So there is this of creating a new component right here, but I'll jump that and I'll scroll down here. I'll jump that and I'll come to the complete setup, which is optional. You can use the above, which is like mandatory, or you can come to this complete setup, which is optional. So what I want us to do in this particular video, I want us to customize this particular complete setup, okay? So it has loaded. So we have a setup for React and Vue. So you can click on Vue if you're using Vue. But I want us to have this kind of a text editor on our app, okay? So first things first, we have the index.js file right there and the styles right there. So what I want us to do is to copy everything in index.js file, and what it will give us is this particular text editor with all these buttons and the text pre-filled right here, okay? And we'll customize that to have like a custom editor for ourselves with icons and not just buttons. So that is what I'm actually showing you in this particular video, because getting started with TipTap is actually very easy. So right here, I'll just highlight everything from the top to bottom. It's actually quite a lot. So I'll highlight everything. I will copy that, and then I'll go to my text editor, and right here I'll create a new folder called components, and then I'll create a new file and I'll call this file TipTap, tap.jsx. I'll hit enter, and then I'll paste everything that I just copied, okay? So I'll paste everything just like that. Okay, everything is fine. What I want us to do is to remove this right here, and then right here for our component, I want us to remove this pre-filled text. So at the content, you can click on there, and then you can scroll down here, and then you can press shift and then click again, and then I'll delete everything right there because I don't want it. And then right here, export default function, I want us to actually like create a normal arrow function which will export by default at the bottom. So right here I can say const TipTap will be equal to an arrow function like that, and then now down here I can export that right here, okay? So I can export default TipTap, okay, just like that. And then for now, this is actually all we need. But at the very top, what I want us to do is to remove this SCSS file. So I'll remove that. We will be making use of app.css for all the styles that we will be making use of. So I'll save that, and then I'll come to app.js, and instead of React right here, let's render our TipTap component. So I'll say TipTap, okay? And then when I click on this one, it's auto imported, which is awesome. And I close it like that. I save, and let's preview what we have at the moment on the browser. So you can see I haven't even checked the code, how it's working, but we will already be having a working text editor right here. And let's see what we have. So it's compiling. Okay, there we go. And there we go. We already have all these buttons, and when I click on here, you'll see that we have some input fields to type. Okay, so I can say React is awesome. Now we have the option of highlighting these, and then maybe clicking on bold, and now it's bold. And then I have the option of clicking that, making it italic, and now it's italic. So these buttons are actually working, but they don't have the styles that are necessary, all the styles. So these are the default browser styles. So when I click on block quote, you'll see that we have indented this, but it doesn't have the styles. So what we will do is that we will add the styles, and when we come to our TipTap documentation, let me scroll. Actually, I can see where the scroll bar is. You'll see that we have styles.scss right here. So you can click on that, and then right here you have all the styles that we initially need. So I highlight everything from bottom to up, or from up to bottom, whichever way you chose. So I'll copy that, and then I'll come to app.css, and you can see I have just the font family styles right here, nothing much. So you can choose any font family that you want, and then right here I'll just paste what I just copied. And now you'll notice that we have some issues because this code is for SCSS, and right here we are using pure CSS. So how can we fix that? Okay, so to fix that, we need to come to Prose Mirror. So this is the class that is provided by TipTap by default, but it's very customizable. So you can like edit any CSS and customize your text editor the way you want. So right here, I'll just cross that one, and then I'll copy this class and I'll include it just before everything right here. So I'll include it right here, and then I'll include it before the UL and the OL. Actually, remember to leave some space right there. Cool. And then I'll do the same for all our headings right here. Very fast, very fast. So we proceed to the H6, and then to code, and then to pre. And now for pre, you'll notice that it has the code right here indented. So what I can do, I can cross it just right here, and then right here I'll include the Prose Mirror, and then I'll say pre and code, and then I remove this one. So this is how you can remove the errors. So with SCSS we have indented styles, but with CSS we don't have that. Okay, just pure CSS we don't have it. So I'll remove this one, and then when I save, now I have all my styles, and this app.css is actually being imported at our app. So all those styles will also be applied at TipTap. Okay, so when we check now, you'll see that our block quote should be having a line right there. So I think we have some issues with our styles, and when I come to app.css right here, and we go to where we have our HR and block quote, you'll notice that this style is not valid in CSS. So we need to like provide our own style nicely. So what I'll do, I'll remove the RGBA stuff, and I'll paste this color which I just copied, and I'll make it just a bit grayish. Okay, and then I'll like copy this grayish color and I'll include it here. And then the next thing is that I'll check if we have any of such style anywhere. We have this one. So what I'll do, this is for code, I'll paste this one and I'll make it to be more whitish. And I don't think that we have any other issue, so I'll save that. Okay, cool. So let's see what we have. I'll come back right here, and we have this now block quote right there. And when I highlight React and click on code, you'll see that it have that background grayish color, and then React right there. So this is now actually working. The styles are working, but I want us to customize this text editor further and make it our own. So we will add icons right here, remove some stuff, and then maybe add the underline, which is most basic, and generally style the editor to look nice. Okay, so for that, let's first go to our TipTap and understand how they have like worked on this. So all these buttons are the one that are being displayed at the top there. Okay, and this is a component. So this is a component called menu bar, which is accepting editor as a prop, and if there is no editor, it's returning null. S is returning the buttons right there. The buttons, all the buttons, pretty self-explanatory right there. We will be customizing them in a minute. And then down here now we have our TipTap component where we have editor. It's calling use editor, and this use editor is being imported from TipTap React. We also have editor content from TipTap React and starter kit from our starter kit. So these are the libraries that we just installed, and we'll be making use of the others just in a moment. Okay, so now down here you can see the starter kit is included as an extension, and we have the use editor right here from TipTap React. And then now down here we have the menu bar, which is at the very top, and we have editor content. So you can like go through the code to try and understand it. Pretty self-explanatory. So now let us start adding the icons, and I'll be using React icons. So right here, let us start by importing a bold icon for bold, and I'll say import. I'll destructure far bold, and this will come from React icons. So I'll say from React -icons, and then I'll say stroke FA, standing for font awesome icons. Okay, so with React icons we have different types of icons. In this case, I'll be making use of the font awesome icons. Okay, now in bold right here we'll replace with far bold. So this is a component far bold, just like that. Okay, and now we should be having that icon added. So I'll save that. Then when I come back right here, we should see this change to an icon. So let's see. Actually, let me confirm that it's compiling. There we go. And let me just refresh. And now we have a bold icon right there. And I'll do the same for the rest. So follow along if you are following just like this. So now for the italic. For the italic, I'll make use of far italic. So once I import just like this, now I'll be able to auto import the rest. Okay, so right here I can say far italic, and actually I'm not getting a suggestion. I lied to you. So I'll just self close it like that, and I think I'll have to manually import it right here. So far italic, and then I'll scroll down here. Right here we have strike. So this is a strike through component. So I'll say far strike through. I don't know why I'm not getting the suggestions to auto import. Far strike through. So since I'm not getting the suggestions to auto import, what I'll do, I'll import every React icon component that I need right here, and then I'll make use of it. So that will be much faster for me. So right here I'll import fast strike through, and then I will import far heading, and then I will import far list OL. So this is for ordered list, and then we'll have far list, and then UL for an ordered list, and then far quote left, for this for block quote, far quote left, and then we will have far redo, we will have far undo, we will have far underline, which was just suggested right there, far underline, and then I think this will be enough. For the rest we won't be adding them. So let's go through this and see what we have. For code, I won't add code. If you want to add code, you can look for an icon for that. And then for clear marks, actually I don't know what that means, so I'll just remove it. If you want it again, you know what to do. Clear nodes, I'll remove it. Paragraph, everything by default will be just a paragraph, so I'll just remove that because it's the default. And then for the heading, now right here I can have the icon for heading. You can say far heading, and in this case let me just include one heading, so I remove the rest of the headings. So I remove this one. I remove this one. You can add some custom styles for the icons for the headings, so that a certain icon is smaller, the other one is bigger, the other one is maybe bigger than that. Okay, what am I saying? I'm just like, I don't know. Okay, cool. So bullet list, unordered list, far, and then list ul, that is for the bullet list, and then for the ordered list is far, and then list ol. Okay, cool. And then let me remove this spacing. So you'll have to do this if you want your text editor to look nice. It's a bit of a workout, but it's just easy stuff. Okay, actually you don't need to follow me along, you can do it on your own. So code block, so this is the block quote, I believe. Actually not, so I'll just remove it. So if it's not block quote, I'll just remove it. And then for the block quote, I'll include the far quote, I think left or something, far quote left. There we go. And then horizontal rule, you can include the horizontal rule if you want. And a hard break, I'll remove the hard break. And undo, I'll say far, and then I'll have undo. And for redo, I'll have far and redo. So a bit of a workout there. I'll save to auto format and remove all the white spaces. So so far so good. Let's see what we have on actually it's not saving. Yeah, there we go. Let's see now what we have on the browser. So we should have removed most of this stuff, and then now we have only this with the icons, the most basic, the heading, the bold, the italic. You can customize and include as much elements as you want. Okay, so for me I want it to be just simple. Now I also need the underline. The underline doesn't come by default, so to include the underline, but you need to import underline from the from the library that we installed. So right here I'll say import, and I'll say underline, and this will come from TipTap extension underline. Okay, so yeah, I think underline is a basic one, so we need to have it on our text editor. So now down here at the extensions, you'll actually add the underline there. So where do we have extensions? This is the starter kit, and then you can use a comma, and then you can say underline, just like that. And we don't have any content for our text editor, so I'll make sure that this is actually even completely empty. And then to make use of these, we need to choose somewhere to include it. Maybe we can choose it to be after the far italic. So what I'll do, I'll highlight this one and I'll duplicate it at the very bottom. And now we can see here we have on click, it's calling editor.chain.focus, and then here we have toggle italic. Now instead of toggle italic, we will say toggle underline. So I'll remove that and I'll say underline, and then dot run. and we will now change the icon to underline. So underline, just like that. Now I'll save. Now let's test our underline if it's working. We can like include it that way, but maybe it's not working. So let's make sure it's working. So I will refresh and let's see if it's added. So we have an underline icon right there. I'll click on this and I'll say hello, and then I'll highlight it and I'll click on underline, and it's actually now underlined. Cool. So that is working. Now let us now style this to look much better than what we have at the moment. So for that we need to add a class to our component, maybe right here or somewhere. Yeah, at this div, let's have a class name, and we will set this class name to be equal to let's call it text hyphen editor, since we don't have such a class name anywhere. And then I'll come to app.css and maybe just here before our prose mirror we can have that, okay, or anywhere. So right here I'll have dot text hyphen editor, and then I'll have the styles right here. So first of all, we have some styles for this class, and I want us to have a padding of 10px, and then actually my one is not working, my keyboard is spoiled, so I'll copy that and I'll paste it here. A very bad developer experience right here. And then I'll say a border top of 1px, and I'll call it solid gray. So I want us to actually see our prose mirror text editor, so we don't have that right here. So I want us to start seeing it so that you know where to input your text. Okay, so let's have a background will be white, so white, and then let's have the border radius, border hyphen radius to be 0 0, and then here we will have 5px, and this one 5px. And then let's have a mean height for our input area, so I'll say mean height, not main but mean. This one will be 100px. Okay, I keep forgetting 100px right there. So I'll save that, and let's make sure that we can see our prose mirror, or where we are supposed to enter the text. Okay, so we actually have this top border only, but we have some styling around the text, the what we do, how do I call it, the padding and stuff. Okay, so for the, and you can see the height is also there when I click on it to focus. So why we included only the top one is because we have the text editor class which will surround everything. So let's actually add that. So this one will make the difference. So right here I'll say a border hyphen radius of 5px, and let's add that border. So I'll say border to be 1px, and then it will be solid gray, just like that. So we should now be seeing it. So when I save that, and actually I didn't save this one, I'll make sure to save it. Also let me check on our menu bar. Okay, let me save first and see what we have. Okay, so now you can see we have this border around our text editor, which is actually really nice. Now I don't want it to be that big, and I can control the width using our app. So where we have the app, let us add some styles. So I can give our app a max width of 700px, and then I can change the margin top and bottom to be 5 rem, and then so that we center our app, we include an auto for left and right. Okay, and then we have the font family. That is looking good. Cool. Now that will be much better. There we go. Now our text editor is just right here, and you can see now we can click on these to add some input. Very awesome. Okay, now the thing is, I want us to style the buttons right here, and for that we will target the menu, our menu bar. So if we check at the menu bar, we come to TipTap, you'll see that we need to include a class for our everything right here. So let us wrap everything with a div, and make sure at the very bottom we also do the same. Okay, it was drawing an error right there, so I had to check. Now right here we can add a class for our menu bar. So I'll say class name to be equal to menu-bar, just like that. So I'll save that. Now we can customize our menu bar in our CSS. So after the text editor, we can select dot menu bar and include the styles right here. So for this one, let's have a padding bottom of about 5px, and then let us have a display of flex. So we want to separate the undo and the redo icons from the rest. So let me show you what I mean. So we want these two icons to be on this side, so that is why we are including a display of flex. And then we will align the items to the center, and we will justify the content to be space between. So I'll say space between, actually not around but between, just like that. So I'll save that, and we should be having now having that on a separate. So when we check this one, you'll see that we have our buttons right there, and our undo and redo. So we should actually change the structure of our HTML for that to work out. Okay, so what we will do, I'll include a div right here to wrap our undo and redo. So I'll add a div, and I'll cut this one and cross it just right here, and then I'll wrap the rest with a div as well. So right here, let me say div again, and let me now cut the opening tag, and then go to the very top and include it right here. So I'll save that. Now we should be having these particular icons separate from our undo and redo. So when I come, yeah, this is now what we have. These are on this side, these are on this side. Pretty nice. And this is now starting to come along. Now let us style the buttons, these buttons which has the icons. So I'll go back to the code editor and go to app.css. So right here I'll say dot menu bar button, and we will be adding a bit of styling. Let us increase the font size for our buttons or icons, that is, so they'll take the shape of the parent. So this is my problem right here, but don't worry, I'll fix it soon. So right here we will have 18px, and I'll have some margin for these particular icons or buttons of 7px, and then that is the general margin around them, but for the margin right, it will be a bit more. So let us have the margin right as 15px, so a bit custom right here. And then we will remove the outline when we click on the button. So I'll set it to none, and we will remove the border and we'll set it to none. So I want us to remain only with the icon, so I'll remove even the background color so that we only remain with the icon, and I'll set it to none. Okay, and then let us change the color to be RGB B, and this will be 70, and then 70, and then 70. And we'll change the cursor right here to pointer. So cursor will be pointer when you are using. Actually, we missed a semicolon. That is why I'm not getting the suggestions. Pointer. Okay, cool. So that is about the button. And let us see what we have. I'll save and let's see. So we should transform. There we go. So they are much bigger and they don't have that background, the outline and the border, which is pretty awesome, pretty cool. Okay, cool. Now I want us to style the active state. So when we say hello and then I highlight this one and include bold, you will see it's bold, but now we should see that B here it's active. So that is what I want us to work on. So we already have a class that is being added automatically by our TipTap. So you can see right here, class name editor.isActive brokeCode. If brokeCode is active, we add a class name of isActive, else we add null. So the isActive class is already there. All we need to do is to style it. Okay, so now right here we will say button dot is hyphen active. Actually it's not hyphen, I think it's an underscore active, and we can add the styles here. So right here we will change the background of the button to be RGB, and we will include 197, and then actually I missed the 197, and then 197 again, and finally 197. So that is grayish color. You can include any color you want. So right here I'll also add a padding to it of 2px, and then I'll include 3px. So this is top and bottom, left, right. And then now down here let us have a border radius so that it doesn't look the corners doesn't look so sharp. And that is all we need to do for the isActive state. So let's see now. So I'll wait for it to load or compile, or let me just refresh to make sure that it's refreshed. Okay, let's see if it's working. Hello, and then let's have that. So it has added hello, but the isActive state is not there. So let me see our TipTap right here, and it's actually a hyphen. So I'll come back and change this to a hyphen. I was wrong. So I'll save that, and then let's see if it's working. So there we go. Now you can see bold, it's having the active state, so we know that bold is active. And when we say hello React and highlight this one, remove, so you can see right there, when we are right here it's not active, when we are right there it's active. When we are right here we can activate the this one. So there is a bit of an error. Okay, cool. The class. So let us fix the underline. The active state is actually messed up at our underline because we did a copy paste. So for underline, let us see. Let's go to where? Far bold, far italic, and far underline. So this is not italic, but I hope underline will work. I'm not even sure. Let's save and see. So it should refresh, and I don't know. Let's see if this is working. So let me manually refresh this one. And let's say hello. I highlight it, click on italic. Now we only have the italic one. Let's see if this one is working. That one is working as well, independently actually. Cool. So now we have styled everything to look nice. You can take this further to the next level. Now I want to show you how you can take the data from this input or this TipTap input and save it to the database or show it on the UI, because if you can do that, then there is no point of doing all this. So just stick around with me. So when you come to the text editor at TipTap component, scroll down. Right here we had two things. When we called the use editor hook from TipTap, we included the extensions and content, but we have what we call an update property, which will be checking whether we are updating our editor or not, and then we can extract the value from there. So right here we can say on update, and it's actually suggested right there, full colon, and right here we can return something using an arrow function. So right here we can have an arrow function and be able to return some stuff or do something with it. We don't necessarily have to return anything, but we can do something in there. But now this arrow function has access to editor. So if I do this, I will have access to editor, just like we had access to our editor right here at the menu bar. Okay, the same way we will have access to it right here. And now this editor will give us the method for getting the output, or that input, and output it to be something else. Like we will have access to that HTML that we type in there. So right here we can say const HTML will be equal to editor dot get, and you'll see now here we have dot get text, JSON, HTML, and whatever. So I want us to make use of HTML. You can get the JSON and save it the database, or you can get the HTML. I think HTML is much easier to work with if you are not doing much implementation of the data. So get HTML. Now we have our output right here at our HTML. So if we come right here and say console.log of HTML and save, we should be seeing it at the console. So let's test it out and make sure you're getting those values at that particular constant. So I'll hit F12 to open the console, and at the console currently we don't have anything, but as soon as we type anything we should get it there. So when I say hello, you can see that by default it's a paragraph. That is why I didn't include the paragraph stuff right there. But now when I highlight that and underline, you'll see P and then U, hello. So this is in form of HTML. Very cool. When I underline, when I change it to italic, we have all the HTML right there. So now we can store this in state and maybe save it to the database or display it on the UI. So I need to show you how to display this HTML on the UI, because by default it will not work out. We need to pass it or something. Okay, cool. So now I'll come to app. Okay, to app.js. Actually, I'll close the stylings now. We are no longer using them. And right here, I'll create some piece of state. So I'll make use of the use state hook from React. So I think if I just use it, I'll get an auto import. So use state, and this is coming from React. I invoke it, and this will be a string. And then right here we can say const, and let's have desk for description and set desk for set description to be equal to use state, and that is a string. Pretty nice. Now we can call this set desk or pass it via props to our TipTap. So right here I'll set desk to be equal to, I call the curly brackets set desk. I save. Once I save, I can go to TipTap, and at the TipTap component I can receive that as a prop set desk. And then now down here, instead of logging this to the console, we can call set desk. So I'll remove this one and I'll say set desk or set description to HTML. So I'll save that, and now we have that data in our state. We have it at our description. So we can create a new component for the output, and actually there is no need for me to create one. I can just display the output right here in form of a div. So I'll include a div, and right here I can include the output. So now this is the point that we use the HTML React parser, which we earlier installed. So right here I can say import, this is parser, and this will come from HTML and React parser, HTML to React parser or something. Now that HTML doesn't display directly right here, so right here I can include the curly brackets, and then I can say parser. So parser, why is it parser? And I'll invoke this, and I'll pass the desk, this one, the desk. Okay, and I can see this is having a typo set. Cool. And yeah, that is actually all. But for us to now like style the HTML that will be displayed right here, I'll make use of a class name, and this class name is the Plows Miller. So the styles will be similar to that. So right here I'll pass Plows. How is it written? Plows, I think it had a capital letter to start with, and then it had Plows Miller. So I don't want to style it again. You can style it again if you want, but I'll just use this one. And now we have actually now passed our output using this React HTML React parser, and now we will be able to see the output hopefully. So let me refresh to make sure that everything is refreshed. And I'm actually so tired right now. Yeah, let me wrap this up by showing the demo. So I can say hello, and there we go. You can see now it's outputting down here. And then when I highlight it, include the block quote, you can see it's working. When I come right here and say 1, and I want that one to be a list 1, 2, you can see it working as expected. Cool. So there we go. We have created a text editor using React and TipTap. The thing is, what we have done mostly is styling it, getting the input, storing it in state. So you can take that state and save it to the database, or you can show it directly on the UI. And that is it for this particular video. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos just like this one. And now I'll see you on the next one.